The Better Math Teaching Network is a network of educators and researchers who view teaching as a craft that can be continuously improved. We have more than 60 members, mostly high school algebra teachers representing diverse districts and schools from every state in New England, and we're growing every year. We are organized as a networked improvement community, or NIC, which means that we use principles of improvement science to develop, test, refine, and share promising instructional routines throughout our network. So what is the problem we are trying to solve?
How can we get more students to take ownership of their learning, to carry more of the intellectual load? This doesn't mean that teachers don't do anything. In fact, they do more. I think there's a misunderstanding. But how can I create learning opportunities in which kids are motivated to deeply engage in learning it and articulating what they're learning, and just showing more ownership of the material?
Our work is focused on getting students more deeply engaged in algebra. We define deep engagement in algebra in 3 ways. Number 1, making deep mathematical connections among mathematical procedures, concepts, and application to real-world concepts. Number 2, communicating and justifying students' mathematical thinking, as well as critiquing the reasoning of others. Number 3, making sense of and solving challenging math problems that extend beyond rote application of procedures.
What we've tried to do is break down the engagement that we want kids to have.
Deeply understanding algebra is consequential for students. Algebra is a gatekeeper to higher-level math and science courses. Students who fail algebra are less likely to graduate. The way kids have traditionally learned algebra hasn't worked for many.
We are pushing back against the teacher standing for 45 minutes or 30 minutes, giving a couple of examples and saying, they can follow my examples. We're good to go. In fact, they can remember those 3 weeks later on a test.
So it started with a study of high school math, student-centered instruction, and it was funded by the Nellie Mae Education Foundation. And Kirk and I had the opportunity through that study to really look at high school math instruction and describe the ways in which teachers really do use student-centered approaches sort of in nuanced ways with their students. Also, as part of that study, we looked at the relationship between student-centered instruction and student performance on a sample of PISA items, and PISA items assess problem-solving skills. And when we looked at that, we actually found a positive relationship between the two, and that is that students who were taught by teachers who used more student-centered approaches tended to do better on those PISA items. From that, then, the Nellie Mae Education Foundation funded a planning grant in which we were able to plan for and then later implement a networked improvement community. So we spent a year building the network and piloting it, figuring out the structures and how to support teachers in this work. And then we launched the network in the spring of 2016.
So why have we organized ourselves as a NIC? We're organized around a common problem and aim. We all agree that making instruction more strongly student-centered is key. We're interested in refining routines that we implement regularly in our classrooms, and improvement science tools help us do this in a more disciplined way. We think this work is important and challenging, and best attacked as a community. This is not something to do in isolation.
We're not just teachers that are stuck together randomly. We are or teachers that are interested in student-centered learning. We are those things, but we're also organized as a networked improvement community. So we're taking principles from improvement science that have been used in like healthcare and industry.
The network focuses on making improvements that make sense for individual teachers. So we're looking at, some teachers want to just make some incremental improvements, and so they do some small tweaks to what they're already doing to try to make it more, their instruction more student-centered, to help their students develop deeper understandings. Some teachers are interested in starting wholesale all over again with new routines and new ideas, and there's place for both of those and anything in between. So teachers really do have a lot of autonomy to figure out what they personally want to work on in their own instruction, and then try those things out as part of their daily work. And through the network, teachers are able to reflect on their practice, think about ways that they might provide more opportunities for students to do those things, and try them out, collect some data on their attempt, analyze that data, and decide what to try next based on what they've learned from their first attempt. And this happens pretty quickly so that it feels more organic to their instruction and their classroom.
By using improvement science in our instruction and really questioning our instruction, questioning what's working for the kids, what's not working for the kids, how can we make this better, and thinking about that, we could be changing how math is taught right here. And that's what I told my students. I said, the 40 of you are adding valuable input and data to how math is going to be taught in the future, and how we can make it better, and how we can make it more meaningful for you.